Hey everybody, and welcome back to FSI DFS. I'm McKinley412. I'm one of the MLB coaches here, alongside Mega Roller. Today we're going to be breaking down this 7-game night slate. We have another video out for the early slate, the 4-gamer. So go check that one out if you haven't already. But for now, just this one. No weather concerns that we have to be paying attention to. Well, no major weather concerns. I guess Colorado could see a little bit of rain, but I think it's probably more than anything just going to be fine. But showers could be in the area. So we'll kind of go through the games. We'll go through our pitcher rankings, our bats, and yeah. So let's kind of just get into it. Ohtani, Alcantara, Wright, and Pivetta is how I ranked the top 4 high salary pitchers on the slate. Ohtani, number 1, 9.1K. He's got a 33% strikeout rate this season. He's just been mowing down the field. Now he's going up against a White Sox team that greatly struggles against right-handed pitching. They're one of the best teams in the entire league against left-handed pitching, but they certainly have their struggles against righties. So for that reason, for him being one of the cheaper of the high salary guys, Ohtani is going to be my number 1 play of the pitchers. Alcantara, I think I have him next. Yep, Alcantara at 10K. It was him versus Wright. Wright has kind of had some struggles his past couple of starts. Alcantara, he's been more consistent throughout the entire season. This guy works deep into games. You can see his pitch count continually in triple digits. And, with his low walk rate, he gets, through batters pretty quickly. He can rack up the innings, rack up the outs, which just means more DFS points for you. So Alcantara going up against St. Louis, a little bit of a tough matchup, but I still think that, he could be a fine play at 10K. Ohtani is still clear cut above him though. Kyle Wright, I mentioned his struggles recently. Past 2 starts, double-digit hits against, less than ideal, obviously. Going up against Philly. Philly doesn't have Bryce Harper. As we all know, he did break his left hand with that pitch inside. So Right. He's going to face a quote-unquote depleted Philadelphia lineup, but it's still a lineup that can certainly do some damage because of that, because of, his close price to Alcantara and his kind of struggles recently. I got him ranked 3rd. And then Pivetta rounding things out of this top tier. Pivetta's had a nice season overall. Got to give him that. You can't really argue it at all. But still, I'm looking kind of like the teams that he's faced and then who he's facing today and how he's done against Toronto. He's done well against Cleveland and Oakland and the Angels. Well, I guess he didn't really have too great of a start. Obviously, he had the strikeouts, but Oakland again, Baltimore, Chicago White Sox who can't hit righties, Chicago White Sox again who can't hit righties, Baltimore. And then, his 2 Toronto games, he really struggled. So he's got 2 starts against them. He averaged 7 DK points and has an ERA over 7. So I think he's really going to be struggling. He's more of a GPP play here for me. The numbers do look nice, but I think there is some regression coming. The advanced analytics kind of are saying he's probably going to be falling apart a little bit more here soon. Going into the mid-tier, we got Alek Manoah on the other side of the mound there from Pivetta for Toronto, facing off against Boston. It's still weird to me seeing Pivetta or Manoah this cheap. I think this is the cheapest that he's been all season long. But I mean, I understand it. His strikeout rate is not what it was from last season. You can kind of see he's had some pretty low strikeout games, but you can also see that he's had some very consistent scoring all throughout the season. So 8.7K, I think he's probably my SP2. I think an Ohtani Manoah mix is going to be very popular in builds today. And at 9-1 and 8-7, you can fit them both in and have a very solid bats to go along with them. Who do I have next? I got Green next. This is more for his strikeout upside. He can get hit hard. If he's not striking guys out, he gets hit pretty hard. He allows a lot of home runs. He allows a lot of hard contact. So we'll have to check the weather in Wrigley. Are the winds blowing out? I guess I didn't check that as I'm talking here. But if he can have one of his high strikeout games against a Cubs team that does strike out quite a bit, I think that he could be a fine play, but it's strictly like GPP. It is a little hesitant me putting him there. Urias, I got 3rd, mainly because of Coors Field. He's been doing very well lately. You can kind of see what he's been able to do. 1 or 2 earned runs in all 4 of his past starts, and 9 strikeouts, 10 strikeouts, 8 here. He's doing very well. However, it is Coors Field. He is getting that salary discount because of it. And when he faced Colorado earlier this season, he got absolutely blitzed. So there's some hesitation in there. If you want to put him above Green, I can definitely see that argument. But still, it's a risky play going into Coors, but I could see it. And then Kopech rounding things out, going up against the Angels, who can't strike out. Kopech, nice K pitcher, but man, he has been struggling as of late. You can kind of compare his earlier on the season, strikeouts were high, and now the strikeouts have kind of like disappeared. Where'd they go? Just get rid of this start here. But yeah, 4-1, 1-4-2. Like the strikeouts have just like gone away. I don't know what happened. Sorry, those are his walks. 2-4, 8-4. But still, the strikeouts have gone away. I'm not sure really where they went. Going into the cheap, Steele, he's just got the best strikeout rate of anybody. He's got a nice matchup going up against Cincinnati. Could think he's rightfully probably one of the better plays in this low tier. Suarez for Philly going up against Atlanta. Atlanta does not have Acuna, so that really hurts their offense. I mean, they don't have Albies still. He's been out for a while. But yeah, so missing like those two main guys, Atlanta, their offense is still an elite offense. But when you're missing those two studs, you could upgrade the pitcher just a little bit. Plant and then Bundy rounding things out. I don't want to touch Quantrill, Marquez. Got Marquez in your choice. That's how much I don't want him. But I mean, you could go crazy in a GPP. Sure, why not? Quantrill just doesn't strike out anybody out. That's kind of why he's there. Toronto, I already talked about Pivetta, how I think that Pivetta, he's going to see some regression soon. Pavetta's already faced Toronto twice this season. Toronto's gotten to him twice this season. It's going to be your typical Toronto bats, and they've gotten a little bit of a decrease in the pricing. A lot of these guys were in the 5K range. Springer, he's been lower kind of as of late, but still 4.6K for him. Bichette under 5K, which is phenomenal. Yeah, they're affordable, which is something that we haven't been able to say about a Toronto stack in quite some time. Minnesota going up against Quantrill. Quantrill, I mentioned, he just doesn't strike anybody out. Minnesota, I think, can certainly do some damage. They're one of the most like boom or bust kind of teams in the MLB so far this season in terms of like when they're hot, like they are putting up double digits, but they also have quite a few goose egg to 2-run kind of games and are big disappointments. But still, I think on them against Quantrill, a righty, they have a lot of those power lefty bats, and even Buxton, who's a righty, can certainly do some damage. And again, you know, we've seen a lot of these guys, their price come down. Reyes was in the 5K range not too long ago. Buxton was over 6K. Correa was over 5K. So we've seen some discounts on their salaries. So I don't mind Minnesota there. Dodgers, don't really have to talk too much about them. It's Coors Field. It's the Dodgers. Yeah, I don't have them ranked first just because Marquez has shown the ability to kind of do some things in that Coors Park, do things well. And the Dodgers have certainly disappointed us the past 2 days. So who knows what's going on there. And then Atlanta rounding things out of that top stack. GPP, I put an LA stack here going up against Kopech. Kopech, he certainly had his struggles. The only issue with the Angels GPP is that you don't get Ohtani because he's pitching. He's not going to be accumulating the batter stacks today. So Ohtani, no Ohtani kind of puts them more towards the GPP route. Otherwise, I would have had them in like a top tier stack. Colorado, Coors Field, going against Urias. Colorado hit Urias pretty hard earlier on in the season. So there's that there. And then St. Louis. Chicago Cubs, they're cheap. Talked about Green. You know, he's got a super high strikeout rate. I think it's close to 29%. But if he does not strike guys out, he's going to hit hard. He's going to be allowing a lot of hard contact, a lot of home runs. So Chicago Cubs, if you want to even just do like a one-off there, there's a lot of cheap plays that you can go to. And even just, don't even mind like a big stack with them if you want to go or a deeper GPP. Cleveland, Cleveland's going up against like an Bundy, I want to say. Yeah, Cleveland's going up against Bundy, big fly ball pitcher. Cleveland, super cheap. Once again, that's why they're in the cheap category. But Bundy, much like Green, can allow a lot of home runs. Bundy allows a lot of fly balls. So this ball, if the ball is carrying in Cleveland today, Cleveland can certainly put up some offense. Cincinnati going up against Steele, Miami, and then your leverage is going to be Boston going up against Manoah, and the White Sox going up against Ohtani, the two guys that, I think are going to be a popular pair in builds today. So that kind of wraps things up with how this slate is going to be breaking down. We have a video out for the early slate. Go check that one out. As always, thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next video.